Coming up next, I'll give you 5 ways to be inspired during the coronavirus, 3 ways to hone your craft, and we'll take your calls and your chats. It all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. This conversation is just as relevant now as it ever has been, even in the face of all of the doom and gloom and the awful unemployment numbers. We will rise out of this thing. You have a big part in that. And I want to be here for you. If you're scared, confused, just feel hopeless, you know what you want to do, but not how to get there. You've been laid off. You've been furloughed, trying to decide, what do I do? Do I go back to a job I didn't love? Is now the time to reboot? Whatever your question is, we are here for you. 844-747-2577. You can call right now. This isn't tape delayed. I'm here right now. Let's go. I'm here for you. 844-747-2577. You can also send your question via the chat room. We've already got some in here, but go ahead and send those now because the team processes those, and we'll get to as many of those as we can, but shoot those to us. And then while you're watching, if you're encouraged by something or you get some good news happening, share it. If you hear a caller and you feel something there, you connect, share it. And also, while you're watching, give us a thumbs up right now below the video window. That helps YouTube know that you are engaged, and they spread the word for us. You can also subscribe and share the show, all below the video window. So, good information coming to you today via Forbes magazine. 5 inspiring antidotes to help you deal with the fear and negativity associated with coronavirus. I saw this article. I want to bring it to you. It's really good. We'll roll through these real quick, and then I'll just kind of give you some perspective. Number 1, focus on humanity. You know, I've been saying this on the program that this latest crisis in the world, while it will have very negative impact that reaches far and wide, it will also shine the light on the human spirit. So focus on some stories every day. Every day, this needs to be a daily routine for you to focus on some stories that make your heart feel good. People doing beautiful things. It started early on. We saw in Italy and then in Spain, and we've seen so many amazing things, but people got on their balcony singing, and people singing worship songs, and people praying, and then healthcare workers dancing, and whatever it is. Focus on these positive stories, people that are doing really good things in this time. The second thing is how are you using your time? Many of you, even if you still have your job, you're working from home, and so you don't have the commute, and you have a lot more time on your hands. More time with your family. Now, some of you are going, Ken, I can't bear any more time with my family. But you've got more time or a different rhythm of time. How can you maximize that in a positive way? Serendipity. This idea of the silver lining. And how are you seeing benefits that didn't exist in this time? And how are you appreciating them? Because while this disruption has done a lot of negative things, for some parents who would have loved to have worked from home, they're getting the opportunity to work from home, and maybe they get to keep working from home. Those are the type of things you're looking for. Generosity. We know that generosity is good for your health. Sends positive chemicals out there when you see the goodness that comes from your actions. It helps your self-esteem and self-worth, which also boosts your immune system. Look for opportunities to help others that are less fortunate than you. Then finally, humor. We also know that laughter has positive effects on the body. Laughter relaxes your body, boosts your immune system, triggers the release of endorphins, protects your heart and burns calories. Even in a really tough time, there are opportunities to laugh. Laugh with your family, laugh by yourself. Make sure that you have some jolly in your life. And I know it's tough and you can still be sensitive, but you can laugh. Look for opportunities to laugh. And by the way, I've always said this about myself. It is true probably of you. You are your own material. Laugh at yourself. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. We're going to the phones here momentarily, but I want to let you know that the proximity principle we created on this show came out of the content of this show. The proximity principle says, in order to do what you want to do, in order to be who you want to be, you got to be around people that are doing it and in places where the thing you want to do or the type of person you want to be, where that's happening. So this is not just professional. This is a wonderful success principle across all areas of your life. Relationships, your professional life, spiritual life, your health, physical life, all those things. But the proximity principle became a book and it became a #1 bestseller last year. And it's as relevant now as it ever has been. We've got an incredible bundle right now. And so this isn't costing you a lot of money, even if you're scrimping on your budget. It's $25 for the bundle, all 3 formats, the hard copy, the ebook, and the audio book. You also get the autographed copy of the hardcover if that is something of value to you. So you can get all 3 formats for $25. Those are 3 gifts, 1 price. A lot of kids, high school and college graduates right now, and they're not maybe going to be able to do their ceremony. You still want to get them a gift. Well, here you go. This is a success principle that will stay with them for a long time. It's very, very practical. Helps you understand the formula for success, that the right people plus the right places equals opportunity. And that's all anyone wants, an opportunity to just be who they were designed to be. So go get it, kencoleman.com/store, or you can just go to kencoleman.com and click on store. kencoleman.com, get that special bundle right now. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Elijah, who joins us in Redmond, Oregon. Elijah, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, how you doing, Ken?
Elijah, I'm living the dream, man. How can I help?
Hey, I just want to say thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's
I've
going on?
been listening to you and Dave and the other personalities for a while now, and I wrote down some passions and I wrote down some skills, and I also wrote down some weaknesses.
Okay.
And based on your principles, I'm trying to kind of narrow down what it is that I'm, meant to do in life, and I'm just having a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
Fine-tuning that.
Where are you getting stuck? Take me to where you are and you're going, okay, I need Ken to help me with breakthrough. Where do you stand?
I have about 6 skills written down and 6 passions written down. I feel like I kind of have too many passions to narrow it down to one thing.
Okay. All right. Let's run through them real quick. Give me the top 6 things you do best. This is talent. What you do best.
Okay. I'm a good instructor.
Okay.
As well as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at encouraging people and lifting people up.
Good.
I'm mechanically inclined and good with working with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I have good organizational skills and administrative skills.
Okay, good. All right. All right.
I'm a lead, and I'm good at leadership.
Okay. All right. All right. Now let's go over to passion. What work you love to do most? This is work you look forward to, and when you're engaged in it, time seems to stand still, gives you the juice. What's going on? What is it?
I would say the number one thing is for me, serving the Lord and serving others.
Be more specific. How do you do that?
Helping others improve their life.
How do you do that?
By encouragement, talking to them.
Yeah, let me pause for a second. I want you, this is important for not just you, Elijah, but for our audience as you're listening and you're watching us work through this together. There's always going to be a very close tie, Elijah, between what you do best and what you love to do most. So what happened is you went real high level when I said, what's the work, the tasks, the functions that you love to do most? You went serving others. You went really high level. But wait a second. I said, well, how do you like to serve? And what you should have said is, well, I really love to coach people. I love to encourage people. I love to lead people. Because isn't that true?
That is true.
Because remember, we enjoy doing things we're good at, yes or no?
Yes.
We don't like to do things we're awful at, do we, Elijah?
No.
Okay, so I want you to dream a little bit. So if I gave you a job tomorrow And I guaranteed that you couldn't fail. So don't even worry. This isn't about money. This isn't about approval or failure, anything. This is just, boom, you get to do it. Looking at your list of what you do best, how would you use those talents? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail tomorrow and you just got to try it out? What would you do?
I would probably want to own my own CrossFit gym.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. And the reason is because it allows you to coach, instruct, encourage others in their health, their physical health. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your
Correct.
why?
Yes.
What's driving that? Why would that be such a dream come true for you?
I love to see results, and I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing people improve themselves, improve their lives, improve their health.
Okay, great.
I personally enjoy fitness and health.
Yeah.
So
now what you just did is you described the results of the work. So you love instructing, you love coaching, you love encouraging. Okay, so that's the work. By the way, that also lines up with what you do best. Do you see that so far?
I do.
And my third indicator is mission. Talent, passion, mission. Mission is based on results that you want to create from your work. And so you want to instruct, coach, encourage others to learn techniques to get more physically healthy so that they can live their best physical lives, which has a lot of medical benefits and so forth and so on. So now there's your answer. That's what you really want to do. That's your mountaintop. That's your Mount Everest. Yes or no?
I think it is.
So what is it going to take? What's the path look like to eventually get to owning your own CrossFit gym? Well, the short answer is, A, you've got to get into the field. And so you want to begin to get experience. You don't have to go get a degree for this, but you do need some experience and maybe some certification in CrossFit as a trainer. And you work for somebody else. You get in the industry and you work 2-3 jobs, whatever it's going to take over time to be able to save up the money that you need to be able to buy in cash, or to be honest with you, I'd be fine with you just leasing some space and creating your own CrossFit business. And so while you are getting in the industry and getting experience, Elijah, you're also, I'm going to talk about this later in the program, the ways to hone your craft, 3 ways to hone your craft, but you are going to be talking to successful CrossFit gym owners. Why? Because they're doing what you want to do, and they're so far they've been successful. Talk to them about what the risks are. Talk to them about what the landmines are that they didn't see and some of the mistakes they've made that you can learn from. Ask them how much money they had to have to get going, because you don't want to do it with a loan. So when you hear how they did it by borrowing money and creating all this risk, you go, okay, what would it take for me to do it in a cash position? So those are the things that are ahead for you. How old are you, Elijah?
I am 37.
37. So you've got to have a day job in the meantime, correct?
I do, yes.
How much money do you need to make?
I need to make combined income of at least $80,000.
All right, it's you and your wife?
Correct.
All right, and so you're going to have to do what I did, which is, how do I support my family and still pursue the dream job? And it means you're going to have to do it on the side. So that means you're picking up a second job working in that physical fitness field until you can get a job that pays you what you need to make. So if your wife's making 30 and we want to eventually get you to a $50,000 job in the industry, and so then you just jump right in to the advice I gave you. So I think it's a very, very, very clear path. We just talked about stage 1 of the path to your dream job and working like no one else, giving yourself away, meaningful work. And that's get clear. Now it's get qualified. While you're getting qualified, that's stage 2. You're in stage 3 as well. Get connected. Get qualified and get connected are stages that you're in at the same time, because you're making those connections. So let's make sure Elijah has a copy of my book, The Proximity Principle, please. And if he does, let's give him one anyway and make sure he gives that copy away. 844-747-2577. Nick joins us next in Ocala, Florida. Nick, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, I'm thrilled to speak with you today, so thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet. I'm thrilled too. What's going on?
Well, to make a long story short, I had a bit of a clarity journey that led me to search for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And on that search, I kind of got into some muddy waters, and now there's sort of a lack of clarity that has me questioning whether or not I was even right to want to switch in the first place.
Okay.
So I actually have two questions today.
All right.
The first one is, my current job is kind of a perky job, but there's a large portion of my role that's work that I'm not really all that thrilled about. I'll just say that.
Okay.
So am I right to want for a career change because of that portion of the work?
Yeah, absolutely. Who wants to go to work? And what would you say it is just for fun? 80% you don't have any connection to, 20% you enjoy. What do you say the breakdown is?
60-40. I would say 60 that I'm not a big fan of, and 40 that I really enjoy.
Well, you answer the question. I mean, if you stay where you are right now and you get to the end of your life, are you going to be reminiscing or are you going to be regretting based on a 60-40 enjoyment level?
Well, I think I'll be regretting.
I think so too. So yeah, so what we're saying is okay, there's not a deep connection to this work. And that's one of the 5 causes of buildup that'll eventually give you those symptoms of feeling burned out. And your heart needs to be alive. You need to be excited on Monday morning, and you need to be really grateful on Friday evening. So yeah. So what's the next question?
My next question is, I actually had an interview with a different company that has a little more work that I could get into, but they wouldn't give me a formal offer on paper intentionally.
Okay.
Is that sort of a red flag?
I want to know more. Why did they say they didn't want to give you a formal offer on paper?
They told me that they didn't want that paper going somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. Those are their words. Okay.
Do you understand that? I don't understand.
No.
What does that mean? I guess my question would be, okay, great. What places are we talking about?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Me either. And that's why it threw up a bit of a red flag, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I just thought I'd get some different perspective on that.
Is this a job that would put you in your sweet spot when you're using what you do best to do what you love, that creates a result that matters?
It would definitely be closer than I am now.
Okay, good, which means I'm hoping that it's a ladder to your sweet spot. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I think it's worth a follow-up question. How long ago did this interaction take place?
It was about 10 days.
And it's just been, what did you say when they said that? What was the final part of that communication?
I told them that I kind of understand, even though I didn't. And I told them that I would sit back and think about it. And since then, I've actually reached out and told them I was going to hang tight because of the whole, pandemic thing going on. So I was able to buy myself some time. Okay. What'd they say when you told them that? They told me that'd be fine. We could reconvene in, a few weeks.
Okay. So here's what I would do if I were you. That's all I can tell you. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. I don't know that it's, I don't know that I'm going to call this a full-blown red flag because it's just not enough information. But when you guys agreed to get back in touch, I would say, hey, listen, I do not want to make a mountain out of a molehill. But my only concern about not having a written offer is it's kind of normal to have something official so that when I accept it, that HR and everybody's on the same page about what I'm going to be making and what's expected of me. And I'm willing to sign some type of confidentiality agreement or whatever that you're worried about. Can you explain more about that? Because it's created more questions than it has, clarity. And again, not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but could you explain where are you worried about this going, and how does that affect the fact that it's kind of normal practice before I accept something? We need to have something in writing so that it's written down. This is what I'm going to be paid, and this is what I'm supposed to do and what's expected of me. I would push on that a little bit. And if they get weird about that and they don't give you a solid answer, I think that's a legit red flag. It's yellow right now. But I'd push on that just that way. And then if they still don't give you a good answer, I would say, that's weird. There's something else going on there and you ought to trust your gut. By the way, I've talked about that on the show before. Let me just do a quick aside here. I'm going to go to the chat room. This idea of trusting your gut, folks, is not some homespun, old school, it's just been around, well, maybe I should trust my gut. And what happens is when you think about trusting your gut feeling, we tend to say, well, my brain, my logic is saying this. My gut is over here saying this. Trust your gut. We know from neuroscience, there's been a lot of studies on this. And one particular study that I like to cite is a neurologist did a study on world-class chess players, grandmaster chess players, and they put a heart monitor on them. And one of the findings that is the most significant is that every time that the chess players made a wrong move, an incorrect move that ended up hurting them, their heartbeat increased prior to making the bad move. And so what they took away from that is your body is just as correct as your logic. You can't separate the two. Your body's going, and then many times the body is more accurate than our brains, because our brains take into effect all this fear and all these other things, and the body has an instinct and it's going to the subconscious. So it's actually going deeper level than your conscious in the moment logic. So sometimes when you get a feeling, that's not some mysterious thing. That is your body sending you a message from your brain, the deep subconscious. So listen to your body, listen to your gut. That's the takeaway there. 844-747-2577 coming up in a few moments. 3 ways that you can hone your craft even now. Even if you're not in your craft, you're going, I want to be in this craft. And then when we come out of this crisis and you're back into a normal rhythm, 3 ways that you can hone your craft, and this will stay with you for your entire professional career. But we go to the chat room now. Paul Mark writes, hey, Ken, I'm 22 years old and not sure what I want to do after I graduate with my sociology degree. I know that I love film and want to pursue something in that. Any tips? Yeah. You get some real clarity there. You went to school for the sociology degree, but you know you love film and want to pursue that world. So at 22 years of age, I'm going to tell you that now's the time for you to explore that. You don't have to make as much money to survive right now. You could live with roommates. You could scramble. You could scrap. So I'm looking at your state. I don't know where you live, but do they have a lot of films that are being filmed and television shows? We're seeing more and more of this. It's no longer a New York, LA exclusive location if you want to get into the movie world and film. I know Georgia has exploded. Atlanta specifically is a hot spot. So first thing I do is look at your state and go, and I know Michigan has done some things, just things that are on the top of my mind, that I know that their tourism department has made it attractive from a tax standpoint to see Hollywood come into their state and film there. So where are you at in the state that you're in? Where are you? And do they have a robust film industry? And who are the local production companies that are providing equipment and working with these movie production houses? See, there's an actual scene happening in a lot of states that could allow you to get some experience right in your state. And you make those connections, go work for those production companies. So it's not I have to move somewhere to go somewhere in my career. That's what I want you to think about. That's the law of the zip code that I write about in the proximity principle. Start there. The other thing is then begin thinking, what would it take for me? If I work where I am coming out of school and I save a bunch of money up, go live with mom and dad for a year and sock some serious money away, making some local connections, doing some research, and I decide I want to go to New York or LA. Well, I've saved up some money. I come up with a plan to get a job there. I got money saved up, so I'm not starving, and therefore I can stay longer. Then go to New York or LA. And then that's the mindset. Now, specifically, I want you thinking about what is it that you would do right now? If you didn't have to be qualified, you didn't have to make any connections, and you wanted to work on a movie, what is it? Well, Ken, I want to be in editing, or I want to be in sound, I want to be in lighting, I want to be a screenwriter. Whatever it is, identify the dream as it stands right now and get after that. So just get in. If you got to be a grip for a while to start hanging out on set, so you meet the screenwriters, and then they say, well, hey, I'll give you an opportunity to work with us on this. That's how you make connection. It's the proximity principle. In order to do what you want to do, you've got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. A 22-year-old has no excuse not to get in proximity because it's easier for you. You don't have all the attachments and all the responsibilities. Do whatever it takes. Get in proximity. When you're around the right people and in the right places, opportunity comes to you. Let's go to Chase Burns. Hey, Ken, is it crazy to make a change to making half of what I'm paid now if it puts you in your sweet spot, gets you out of your misery, and you still will make enough to be comfortable? No, it's not crazy because of that last sentence. If you can still make enough to be comfortable, get after it, man. That's fantastic. No pause at all. Because here's what's going to happen. You still will make enough to be comfortable, but now you're going to come alive. And as a result of being fulfilled in your work, you'll probably either make more or you'll just live a different lifestyle, cut expenses even more, and live on less than you make and be fulfilled. And you can still invest and still be a net worth millionaire. So yeah, go. All right, 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Real quick, I want to let you know today's the last day to take advantage of Ramsey Solutions Business Boutique Academy. This is run by my good friend Christy Wright, one of our Ramsey personalities. And this is for those of you who've got a small business and either you want to start it, you've started it, you're in it, and you need some help, some practical tools and advice in this crazy time and beyond. This is the last day to enroll. You have until 8 o'clock Central Time. It's normally $244 to be a part of the Business Boutique Academy. Now it's $99, and it's a 6-month membership. So these 6 months could really change the life of your business. It's only $99. So go check that out. The Business Boutique Academy.com. Businessboutique.com, is the web address, businessboutique.com. And check it out. I think that could be a great help to many of you in that position. All right. So 3 ways to hone your craft. 3 ways to hone your craft. How do I get better now and all the time? So we've talked about the proximity principle, this idea of I've got to get around people that are doing what I want to do and get in places where it's happening. Why? So that I can learn what I need to know, do what I need to do, and connect with who I need to connect with. That's what proximity does for you. And as a result, just churns up opportunity. So I'm at home right now, Ken, and I want to get ahead. I want to get ready for go time. I still want to make some advance towards the dream. How do I do it? Number 1, read the experts. So whether that's an audio book, ebook, good old-fashioned hard copy, read the experts. Who are the experts? The best of the best. And they've put out their tricks of the trade. Read the experts. Number 2, communicate to people with experience. Communicate with people who have real experience. You've got experts, and hopefully those experts are experts because they've got great experience. But talk to real everyday men and women who are winning in your field. They can give you a masterclass on everything, from the things they were afraid of, the things they doubted, the things they had pride over, and they overcame that. The pitfalls. Be careful of these things. Here's the things you need to do to avoid the pitfalls, but also to succeed. Here's the real education you need. Here's the real experience you need. See, these people, it's like doing a college term paper. Every one of you that are listening, watching right now, at some point you had to do a term paper in high school or college. When you talk to these people with real life experience, do a term paper on them. That will get you what you need. And here's the 3rd way to hone your craft. Learn from history. Learn from history. So what does history look like in your field? It doesn't necessarily have to be your 6th grade history book we're talking about, but there is history in your field. Learn from it. So when you're reading the experts and talking to people with experience, you're looking at their history, right? But then overall, what can we learn from the past, essentially, is what I'm saying. What can we learn? What did other people learn? What do those who follow the trends, those who know your industry, they're the observers, they're the people that are the ones that have their finger on the pulse, and they had their finger on the pulse. Go to the past. If it was 5 years ago, 50 years ago, 6 months ago. Learn from the past. Those three things combine together to make you a person who is constantly getting better. Here they are. One more time, the three things. Read the experts, talk to people with experience, and learn from history. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Back to the phones we go. Shanell joins us in Washington, D.C. Shanell, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Happy to. What's going on?
So I was, my firm is most likely having layoffs in the next month, and simply due to the fact that I was the most recent hire, my boss had to have a conversation with me and let me know that it's about a 75% chance that my name is on that list.
Yeah.
So I'm currently trying to scramble and get something else together while in lockdown.
Yeah.
To try and mitigate that result and the very likelihood that it happens.
Okay. Quick question. When your boss told you this, was there any conversation that included it's a true layoff or it's a layoff / furlough where they say, okay, we'll pay your benefits? Or if it's not a furlough, are they saying, listen, we're laying you off now. Our hope would be to be able to bring you back as things get back to normal. Any conversation about that at all? Or is it just cut and dry? Sorry, we're probably going to have to lay you off.
They said that they'll most likely provide benefits or try and do some sort of furlough, but it's actually up to a few levels above him, so he has no idea as well what it's going to look like.
Yeah, and no idea that they and did he say, hey, we'd love to hire you back, and my goal is to hire you back? Okay.
Yes, but he's not certain.
I totally get it. But I just wanted to know if there was any kind of hope there. And the question is, would you go back?
For the time being, possibly. It's not. Part of the reason that I joined this firm is that I was in the process. They were paying for my master's degree, which I do need to get to a next step. So that's on hold, of course, with this. They're probably going to be suspending as many benefits like those as they can before they try and lay it
All right, that's just a quick context. I wanted to know where you stand because that informs where you might want to go. So what's your question for me?
Mainly, how would you, considering we're on lockdown and everything, how would you suggest possibly trying to meet as many people as you can to create as much of to limit the gap in between employment as it occurs?
Yeah. Well, email, text, phone calls, FaceTime, all formats, Yeah. Because, and the way I look at that is those are all going to work together. So you can still be in communication. So you didn't need me to tell you that. Really, what you want from me is, and I'm making a point here. I'm being a little silly. Like those are the four things you do, and that's how you do it. But it's really who you need to be talking with. And so I wrote a book called The Proximity Principle. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it says in order to do what Shanell wants to do, she's got to be around people that are doing it in places where it is happening. So let's talk about where would you like to land. Let's just assume the coronavirus thing hadn't happened and you were getting that master's degree and this company, this firm was paying for it. And let's fast forward. You get the master's degree. Now you're qualified for something. What is it that you wanted to do? Or what is it that you still want to do?
Primarily I'm a statistician, so in order to get higher level positions, you do need a master's degree.
Okay. So, but again, what would you be doing? Let's have fun right now. Let's just assume Ken can wave my pencil right here and I go poof. And Shanell has the master's degree. So now she's qualified. And where does she land? And where does she ultimately want to go? Like, take me 20 years from now. What's the end all? What's the Mount Everest for you?
Probably building out a lot of the analytical architecture of, I don't know, the next Facebook or something.
Great. I love that. So I want to make sure that you have that on the front of your mind every day you wake up, every day you go to bed. I want you going, all right, that's my Mount Everest. That's the kind of work I want to be doing long term, because when you have the end in mind, it really helps you focus on the things you need to do. So we back out of that. We kind of back up and go, okay, that's the Mount Everest. So right now you've been displaced. And so you said, Ken, how do I make connections? Well, you want to start focusing on people that are in that world. Now, you know more about that world than I do. But can you think, and you don't have to say this to me on the air, but can you think of 3 or 4 or 5 different types of professionals that are in the world you want to be in, that either do what you want to do or they're doing something that would be on the ladder? So if you think about how you would climb the ladder and the types of jobs, positions, experience that you would need to get to that Mount Everest, can you think of people that are doing that right now?
Right now.
Not their name. Sorry, let me be more clear. Not their name, but the type of position that they're in. You can think of that, right? You know those types of people. Okay. So now that you know, where are those people? Can you think of that? Forget their names, but the type of positions, and then where are those folks working? You got that in your mind? An idea?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, good. That's the proximity principle. In order to do what Shanell wants to do, she's got to be around and those positions, those type of people. You just fill in the blank. People that are doing what she wants to do. And then she needs to get in places where what she wants to do is happening. So you're thinking about those companies. You're thinking about eventually those trade shows and those online communities, social media. Where are those people hanging out? LinkedIn and Instagram, and are there groups and who associations and all those type of things. And what you do is I want you getting out a pencil and a piece of paper and you begin to write all that stuff down, or you can type it out if you want to. And what you do is you begin to identify the right people in the right places. Now you're already tracking with me on that. Now, once you identify the types of people and the types of places that you need to get in proximity to so that opportunities come your way, now you start looking at your web of connections. This is in the book, The Proximity Principle, as well. And so the web of connections is Shanell has family and close friends. That's your tight-knit network. But it is as we go out on the web, so think of the small circle of the web, and as we begin to build it out, we know from research that acquaintances, Shanell, are where we get most of our job offers. So people that you're friendly to, they're friendly to you. They're going to return your call, your email, or whatever. You see them on the street, they're going to stop and say hi, and it's pleasant, but you're not doing life with them. But that's where you really begin to expand, because it may not even be the acquaintance, Shanell, that makes the connection for you, but it could be the acquaintance who has a relationship in the company or one of the companies that you've identified as a great place for you to land. So now that acquaintance talks to their relationship in the building and says, let me tell you about Shanell. Shanell's a fantastic person. She's really talented. She wants to do this kind of work. I can vouch for her character and her talent to the point that I think you ought to take her resume and hand it to the hiring manager for this position that she's interested in. That's how this plays out.
Okay.
It sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can I tell you, Shanell, I don't know how long you've been listening to the program, but it really works. I've had thousands of people say, this thing works. The proximity principle works. Do you have the book, by the way?
No, I do not.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
assuming I have.
You do, because I'm giving it to you. How about that?
Cool.
And I want you, because I just gave you an overview, but I want you to read the book. Will you promise me you'll read it and do the action items at the end of each chapter?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we all don't have a bunch of time on our hands.
Hey, I like Shanell. Shanell, what's your favorite format? Ebook, hard copy, or audiobook?
Audiobook. I can usually listen while I work.
Well, I read it to you, so I hope my voice doesn't sound like fingernails on a chalkboard for you, because if it does, that's a problem. All right, hang on the line. Shanell, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. I believe it. Hang on the line, and Madison's going to get you a copy of the audiobook. Love it, love it, love it. That music means my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want to remind you, you matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.